So my name is Jonathan Mendiola. I'm the product support engineer for the Central American region and the Caribbean region. And I'm responsible for the technical support for the region, also for conducting trainings in the region for all of our products, EST4, module laser, BM for the key commercial portfolio, also fireworks for all of our products. I'm the responsible for conduct the training for the region, and also I'm responsible for the pre-sale support for all of your projects. So that's my responsibility. Those are my tasks for this region, for the Central American region and the Caribbean region. And the presentation that I'm showing today, I'm going to be speaking about the migration of the EST3 to the EST4 panel. We're going to see the benefits of the EST4, the features of the EST4, and I'm going to show you how to migrate the EST3 to the EST4 and what is going to receive about the benefits of the migration. You're going to see in this presentation that it's really easy to do the migration, to offer to the end user the migration. So it's really easy to do this. So I will show you in this presentation everything about the migration. If you have any questions, any doubts about this presentation, you can put your doubt in the chat and we can see this doubt at the end of the presentation. So I'm gonna be starting this presentation with an overview of about us. We are KIDE Global Solutions. We are a 1.9 billion sales company. So we are a big company we are American company, a North American company. We are attending right now more than 120 countries around the world. We have more than 9,000 global employees around the world attending our operation, about the fire detection portfolio, and we're still hiring more employees to attend all of our operation. We have 18 manufacturing centers to manufacture of all of our equipment. We are the number 2 company in the global business solutions. We have more than 1.5 million installed base with our products, with EST3, with our small analog panels, with the EST4. So we are the number 2 in the global business market, and we are the number 1 in the residential fire safety solution in North America. So what are the brands that we are representing? In the commercial fire, we represent, or we sell Edwards. We all know about this brand, the Edwards, that we have with the EST3, the IO panel, that is the small analog panel, and also with the EST4 that we are going to see today in this presentation. Also, we have the Aritech, EMS, Connected Safety, KIDE Commercial, that is the order fire detection line that we have with the VM panel, the VS panel, and the FX panel. We also have a GST, that is a Chinese company to attend the lower segment of the fire detection market. And then we have the AirSense with our module laser equipment. And the presentation will be with the Edwards company. We're going to see, like I told you, the migration of the EST3 to the EST4. And then we have the residential fire, that is another department, another colleagues that they manage this portfolio with the KIDE, Firet, Badger, Gloria, TG products, and Edward Sinolin. There is another department in the KIDE Global Solutions company. So that's who we are. These are the brands that we are selling to the market, that we are manufacturing in the market. So these are our brands. So why are we here? We are here. I'm here to explain to you how to migrate. Why do you have to migrate the EST3 to the EST4? Why is the right moment to migrate, to do this migration? So I'm gonna start speaking about this. So everybody knows that Edwards Our main verticals with Edwards are data centers, energy storage, hotels, distribution centers, oil and gas projects, large buildings, malls. So we can reach these type of projects, large projects, big projects with the Edwards portfolio, with our EST4, and also with our IO panel with in the small and medium projects. So we can reach this type of projects with the Edwards portfolio. So when we start this topic or this presentation about the migration from EST3 to EST4, why now is the right time or the right moment to do the migration? Because in this moment we have a large base of EST3 installed. We have a large project with EST3 with problems. We have a large base of EST3 that they are not working, or they are not 100% working in this moment. So you will have the business opportunity to offer to the end user to migrate to the EST3 to the EST4. And you will see in this presentation that it's really easy to do the migration, that we protect the investment that the end user had in this moment, in that moment, sorry, in that moment. So you will show you to the end user that it's really easy to do this migration and receive all the benefits of the migration. So when we are going to do this migration to the EFTT3, you will receive a bigger panel with more benefits, with more scalability, and this is the first benefit that you will receive if you do this migration: the flexibility of topologies. When I talk about flexibility of topologies, I talk about the network between panels. I don't know if you remember that with the EST3, the only two options that you had with the network topology was Class A and Class B with the EST3 networks. And also the limit of node that you can have with the EST3 was 64 nodes. That was the limitation of the network between panels with the EST3. When you upgrade your panel to the EST4, you will receive up to 150 nodes in the same panel. You can have 150 panels in the same network. So you will have more panels, more flexibility, more expansion in your network to add more panels in your network. And also you will have these options to do a network topology. You can use the class A, you can use the class B, you can have the redundancy of the panels, you can have a mesh topology, you can have a star topology, and you can have a tree topology. And you can reuse the same cable that you installed in with the EST3. It is with the fiber in single mode or multi-mode with the Cooper, and you can also have with the EST4 the Ethernet connection. Or in the case that you install a EST4 panel and you will be designing the project with this network, you'll be able to do the design of the project with the Ethernet connection or fiber connection with single mode or multi-mode of Cooper. We have these three options, this flexibility of the wiring between panels. So if you're going to migrate, for example, if you have a project with EST3 panels, and you want to migrate to EST4, you can reuse the same cable, and you only have to change the CPU of the EST3 to the EST4, and you can reuse the same cable between panels, and you must be able to do other type of topology. So I will explain a little bit more about this topology. If you use the star topology, that is a connection to a central point, facilitating management and fault identification. is if a device fails, only that device is affected, keeping the rest of the network operational. Adding new devices is simplified and it only requires a direct connection to the central point. I want to add a comment about this topology. If you use a EST4 with a central point, EST4, you can only connect 4 panels to the central point. Why? Because the CPU of the EST4, when you buy the CPU, it has only 2 ports. In that port, you can add the SFP module for the fiber connection in single mode or multi-mode. You can add the module for Cooper, or you can use that Ethernet port that the EST4, that the CPU of the EST4 have. If you want to add, and you can be able to add another card to expand those 2 ports that the 4 CPU have. So you can have up to 4 ports to connect 4 panels, 4 nodes to the central point. So this is the limit that you can connect to a central point, as the image shows in this presentation, is this slide. So you can have 4 panels to a single connection or a central point. Then we have the mesh topology. The mesh topology is a multiple connection that provides high redundancy and reliability in your network. If one connection fails, data can be redirected through another path. So in this type of topology, you can have the redundancy and the reliability of you have multiple connections that with the image shows in this slide. And then we have the tree topology that organize the network into a hierarchical structure with which facilitates scalability, allowing for organized network expansion and simplify fault identification and installation. So remember, in one point, you can connect up to 4 panels. Only 4 panels you can connect into a single EST4. Also, other benefit that you have is that, for example, with the EST3, when you made a design is a network between panels, you must install one cable for the data, one cable for the audio evacuation system, and another cable for the firefighter telephone. In this case, for the EST4, you have the benefit that in only single wire, in single twisted pair, you can transmit all the information in only single wire twisted pair. So with the only one single pair, you can transmit the data, the audio evacuation, and also the firefighter telephone between panels in a network panels in EST4. So you can reduce up to 75% of the cable when you design a network between panels with the EST4. Remember, with the EST3, sorry, you must install one cable for the data, one cable for the audio evacuation, and one cable for the firefighter telephone. In other hand, with the EST4, you only have to use one single pair, twisted pair for the connection between panels. So you will reduce your cable structure between panels. Then you will have, if you see this image, you can see, let me change the pointer options to laser pointer. So you will see that the EST4 have a full color touch screen. So when you do the migration between EST3 to EST4, you must change it. This is mandatory. You must change your LCD. In any case, we're going to see in the other slide that we have to change the CPU and the LCD touch screen. And when do you change the touch screen, the LCD touch screen, you will have this screen. This is a 8 inches screen that you will see everything about the panel, and it's a user-friendly, intuitive, it's really easy to see all the events that are happening in your system, in your fire detection system, you will see a color code signaling. So if you receive an alarming event, you will see a red color in your screen. If you receive a trouble issue, a trouble in your panel, you will see a yellow color. In the case there is another color, blue for the contract request, green when do you have other type of issues in your panel. So it's really easy to the end user to see what is happening in the panel, and also for the integrator to see what is happening to do the programming of the panel. And also you will see everything in a tree structure. So it's really easy to see your whole project, to the whole devices that you program in your EST4. And this is a difference between the programmation or the programming of the EST3 to the EST4. All the programmation or the programming of the database you must do the programming in a tree structure. For example, if you have a 10-floor building, you must create first the name of the building, and in the bottom you will create the 10th floor, then the 9th floor, then the 7th floor, and up to the last floor. So you will see the tree. You can expand in your screen, for example, the 10th floor, and you will see all the devices that you create in that floor. If you want to spend, I don't know, maybe the 7th floor, you can see all the groups that you create for that floor, all the devices that you create and programmed for that floor. So it's really easy for you, the integrator, and it's really easy uh, for the end user to see what is happening in the EST4. So when we talk about migration, you must change the LCD to the EST4 always in any scenario that we are going to see in the next slide. Then we have the survival mode. This is a feature with the EST4. You will have the reliability. In the event of several system failure, such as loss of communication with the main panel or network failures, each panel or remote devices maintain in critical functionality. So in the case, for example, in this image, in the EST4, this EST4 fails, you will have the redundancy with the other panel that the system will keep working. We still operational with the other panel. You will have the survival mode with the EST4. You don't have that with the EST3. So you will have the redundancy. There is an intelligent redundancy that prevents total system failure. You will have this feature when you do the migration to the EST4. This is a feature, this is a benefit to the end user because the system will always keep working. And then we have, and this is an important feature for the end user and also for the integrator, that you will protect your investment, or you are going to protect the past investment that the end user made in that moment, because you only have to change a few cards in the panel, and all the devices that you had with the EST3, you can reuse it. So the peripherals, detector, modules, manual station, you can reuse it. You can reuse the loop cards. You can reuse the wiring of the project. You can reuse the amplifiers. So if you can see this video, I'm showing to you that you only have to change the CPU, you only have to change the LCD touch screen, and you can reuse the same card that you have in the hardware layer. So to receive all the benefits of the EST4, you only have to change a few cards in the panel, and you can be able to reuse all the devices that you installed in the past. So it's really easy to do the migration. You are protecting the investment that the end user made in that moment. So it's really easy to offer to the end user the migration. Also, with the EST4, you will have cybersecurity because you can add to the EST4 and you will have to the EST4 firewalls. So when we make a integration between third parties programs with BMS, this can be a gateway for digital threats. With the EST4, you will not have this problem because we have a firewall that restrict the unauthorized access. With you, will not have digital threats about data manipulation, interference in building system integration. You will not have external threats through the communication network. So with the EST4, you will have cybersecurity, and it is a certified. He have the certification about AES. So you will have a new touch screen LCD. You will have network flexibility topologies, also more panels that you can add to your network. You with your EST4, you can add more loops because the limit of the EST4, you can add 10 loops into a same panel. So you can manage until 2,500 devices in the same panel. So you have more expansion for devices with your EST4. So we're seeing the benefits of the migration of the EST3 to the EST4. And also you will have the cybersecurity, the firewall between the connection to third parties programs. So when I talk about the easy of do the migration to the EST3 to the EST4, you will have less impact and greater benefits, as I told you. So you will have total backward compatibility. You can offer to your client gradual migration. I will show you in the next slide, and you will have live diagnosis of your signature devices. So you only have to change. And let me explain a little bit more about the migration because we have two scenarios, and I will change to this slide. What can we reuse? When we have, when we find an EST3, we have two scenarios. The first scenario if you have an EST3 without audio evacuation and far telephone. This is the first scenario, EST3 without audio evacuation and far telephone. When you have the EST3 without audio evacuation and far telephone system, you can reuse the cable of the loop, the NAC, and the network. You can reuse the same devices, the 98% of the devices, you can reuse it. You can reuse the same cabinet. You can reuse the power supply. You can reuse the loop board, and you can reuse. Well, in this case, you don't reuse amplifier because it doesn't have audio evacuation system and far telephone. But if you see this have an asterisk, you have or you must check the version of the firmware of any card about the loop cards, IDC cards, amplifier cards if the EST3 have audio evacuation and far telephone, because you must check the version, and we have a version required for the migration. If the version required for this card doesn't apply for the version that we told you, you have to change this card. In the case that the loop board applies with the version, you don't have to change the card. So in the first scenario, you can reuse the same cabinet. You have to change your CPU and only your screen, LCD touch screen, and you can reuse everything, detectors, modules, cabinet, the same cable, and you will receive all the benefits. This is for the first scenario. Then we have the second scenario. The second scenario is when you find an EST3 with audio evacuation and far telephone. When you look this type of EST3, this second scenario, you must change your cabinet. So you have to change the CPU, you have to change your LCD touch screen, and you must change your cabinet. Why? Because the EST4 structure is different from the EST3. The EST3, all the cards was installed in the hardware layer. The LCD, the screen of the EST3 you installed in the hardware layer, the loop boards in the hardware layer, the power supply, the LED switch card, everything you install it in the hardware layer. Also the microphone, also the fire telephone, you install it in the hardware layer. In the other hand, with the EST4, we have the hardware layer and the operator layer. There are two different things. So in the hardware layer, in the EST4, you install the CPU, you install the loop card, you install your power supply, you install your amplifiers in the hardware layer. And in the operator layer, you install your LCD touch screen, your microphone, your far telephone, and that is the reason that you must change your cabinet when you find an EST3 with audio evacuation and far telephone. So, in conclusion, first scenario, EST3 without audio evacuation, without far telephone, you only have to change the CPU and the LCD touch screen and maybe a few cars. I don't know, maybe the loop car or another car. You must check the version of the firmwares. And then we have the second scenario with audio evacuation and far telephone that you must change your cabinet to the EST4 cabinet. You must change your CPU and you must change your LCD touch screen. So it's really easy to get all the benefits to the EST4. You only have to gather all the information about the project. You must check your EST3 in the first view. You only have to check if your EST3 have or doesn't have audio evacuation or maybe far telephone. And then in the second step, you must check the version of the firmware of the loop cards and amplifiers is if the EST3 have audio evacuation, and you do the process to the migration. That's the only thing that you have to change when you want to migrate to the EST3 to the EST4. So this is a video that I'm showing to you a live migration of the EST3 to the EST4 panel. Let me change this to stop this video. I don't know if I can stop. Okay. So also I want to tell you, this is a great feature that we have with the EST4, that you can have two CPUs in the EST4. If you can see, you can have two LCD screen in the same EST4 CAP21 cabinet. You can have the first screen for, I don't know, maybe for the loops, the devices, the detector modules, and the second screen that you will be able to install. You can have this second screen for the audio evacuation system and the far telephone system. So you have the option to install two LCD screens. You must install in the second local rail the second CPU, and the second touch screen. So you have the option to install two LCD touch screen in the EST4. So if you see this video is really easy. You can reuse the backbots and the local rail of the EST3, and you only have to add the operator layer, the inner door, the outdoor for the EST4. Of course, depends of the size of the cabinet. We have a reference for each size of cabinet, and you can reuse the same devices that you have installed in your project. So it's really easy to do the migration. All the Signature series products are compatible with the Edward panels. If identified in a good condition, no wiring or fire device replacement is necessary. In the case that you have a problem with a detector, I don't know, maybe a module, maybe a power supply, you can change that device, but all the devices that you install that they are working in this moment, you don't have to replace that devices. I want to add something. When you have a project with the EST3 and you have power supplies, remote power supplies, we always recommend to you, to the integrator, that you maybe have to change also the power supply. If you have a project more than 10 years, I recommend to you to also change the power supplies. So I want to add that. When we talk about gradual migration, so for example, if you have an end user with, I don't know, maybe 6 EST3 panels, you can offer to the end user a gradual migration. And how we can do this? So we have the firewalls. Our firewalls is the graphical supervision platform that allows to you monitoring functions, control functions for all of our products. So you can offer to your end user, okay, if you don't have the money to do the whole migration of the panels, you can do a gradual migration. Okay, you can start migrating the first 3 panels, and the other EST3 panels you can integrate with the EST4 with the firewalls. And in the firewalls, you can integrate all of our panels, the EST3, the EST4, and in fact, you can add a small analog panels. For example, the IO panel, you can add the VM panel for the key the commercial portfolio. You can add the BS panel to the firewalls, and you will be able to have all the monitor events. You will be able to have control of your panels. So in the case that the end user doesn't have the money to do the whole migration, you can offer to your client the gradual migration with the firewalls. Remember, you must be certified in firewalls, and also I remember to 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 do this, or to say to you that you must be certified in EST4 to do the migration. In the case that you want to do this migration, you must be certified. So for the Caribbean region, we have the Bradenton, Florida training department. We have we conduct the trainings for the Caribbean region in our Bradenton office in Florida, in United States. So you must be you must have a certification with the EST4 platform, EST4 panel, and also if you want to offer to your client the firewalls platform, you must be also be certified in the firewalls platform. So we have this second option if the end user doesn't have the money. And then we have the SIGA-HDT. Maybe you know this tool. This is a diagnostic tool that in fact works with every panel. You only have to connect the signature loop. The signature loop is the loop in where you install the detectors, modules, manual stations, and with this tool you can check problems in each devices. You can check fault conditions. You can check short conditions in the loop. You can do the mapping process with the HDT. So you will have everything in with the signature loop with the HDT without the panel. So without the panel, you can fix all the problem that you must find in on a loop, short condition, fault conditions, maybe a fault condition in any device, a detector. So with this, you will have a live diagnosis with your signature loops, and you can fix all the problem that you can find in a loop. So it's really cheap to get this diagnostic tool. You can get it without the panel. You can, when you receive the panel, you can install your panel. You will have 100% your panel working. So this is a resume about the difference between the EST4 and the EST3. Remember that the EST4, this EST4 can handle 10 loops in a same panel, up to 2,000 and 500 devices in the same panel. The difference between the programming port is that the EST4 have a USB 3.0 port, so it's really fast to upload the database to the EST4. When we talk about the EST3, he have a RS232 port. So when we upload the database to the EST3, you can take time, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours to load the information to the EST3. The programming speed with the EST4, if you have one panel, 10 panels, 30 panels, you can only you can upload the information up to 10 minutes. It's really fast to do the migration and to load the database. Then, as I told you, you will have up to 75% reduction about the network cable between panels, because between panels you only have to use a single twisted pair between EST4 panels. That, remember, with the EST3 you must install one cable for the data, one cable for the audio, and one cable for the Wi-Fi telephone. With the EST4 you will have the benefits that only install one single twisted pair. When we talk about, this is really important, let me change this pointer. This is really important. The EST4 have a inbuilt data storage in the CPU. So this is really important because all the database that you upload to the EST4, this will be added to the storage that the CPU have. So up to 2 database you will have in your storage in the EST4. With the EST3 you don't have a storage, so in the case that you lose your database, your program, you need to create a new database to upload information to the EST3. In the case to the EST4, you have the database in storage. Of course, you need a password to download that database, other things that you might into account. But you have a storage in the EST4 to save the database that you upload in your program. Then you, as I told you, you will have certified cybersecurity, you will have network flexibility with the EST4, you will have the SIGA-HDT for the live diagnosis of your devices, you will have local and remote diagnosis. You can integrate this EST4 with BMS, with Modbus, BACnet, and others language that you can integrate with third-party programs, third-party softwares. So you will have more benefits with the EST4, and it's really easy to the integration. And to end this presentation, as I told you, the first difference is the LCD touchscreen, that is a user-friendly interface that prioritizes identification by color. Remember, I told you if you receive a alarm event, you will see a red color. If you receive a problem event, you will see a yellow color. The events with easy visualization for the end user and also for the integrator is really easy to see what is happening in the panel. You will see everything in a tree structure. Remember, everything in the EST4 is a tree structure. As you see your building, is your building have 10 floors, 20 floors, you will have to program your database in a tree structure. Then you will have the cybersecurity. As I told you, the fire system is not a vulnerability door. You will have certified security protocols with our firewalls within the EST4. You will have the scalability because you have the benefits in the system of evacuation up to the 200 digital audio channels, 150 network panels that you will be able to install in a same network. So you will have up to more devices in your signature loop. Then we have your peace of mind security, pre-record message on all of your panel, the redundancy, the reliability of the survival mode. You will have independent functionality of each of our panel. So you will receive that with the migration of the EST4. Then also you will have a reduction of structure, reduction of cost, because as I told you, the data, the audio and the telephone, Wi-Fi telephone is transmit in only single wire twisted pair. You will reduce your time and cost without compromise your budget. So it's really easy to do migration. And when you went to design a EST4, maybe a new project with the EST4, you will have a network flexibility. You have the class A, class B, the star topology, the mesh topology, the tree topology, and you will have up to 3 options to do the connection between panels. With Ethernet connection, with fiber connection in single mode, multi-mode, you will have Cooper connection. And also you can do the merge between a connection. You can have one port, for example, with, I don't know, maybe single mode, and the other port you can have Cooper, or maybe the other port you can have an Ethernet connection to other panel. So you can do that with the EST4. So also you won't lose the database because the EST4 have built-in storage in the CPU. You can save the database in the EST4. It's a fast data loading because you only take time to load the information, the database to EST4 up to 10 minutes to all your EST4 that you have in your network. It's really fast to load information. So I want to show you this, that is really easy to do the migration. It's really, yeah, it's really easy. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this migration. You can offer to the end user this migration. As I told you, we have a large base of EST3 installed that for you is a business opportunity to start migrating your EST3 to the EST4. So thanks everybody for your time.